Some cases go cold because no one saw anything. Others go cold because someone saw something and none of it matches. This file is one of those. A case that never found its footing, never settled into a single timeline, and never gave investigators a clean starting point. A boy who had vanished without a trace, and then appeared twice in two different towns at the exact same time. 2 sightings, 2 locations, 1 missing kid, and a timeline that refuses to make sense. On March the 14th at 5:22 p.m., a 13-year-old boy left his home in Briar Ridge, Missouri. He told his older brother that he was going to walk to the store. He never arrived. The walk should have taken 8 minutes. He didn't have a phone. He didn't have money. He didn't have a backpack. Just stepped out the door and vanished somewhere between a driveway and a corner. Deputies searched the routes. Nothing. No footprints, no drop items, no witness. The case stalls within hours. 3 days later at 9:41 p.m., a woman in Maplewood, 22 miles away, reported seeing a boy walking along the shoulder of a County Road 18. She described him as thin, wearing a dark hoodie, head down, slow, steady pace, never reacting to passing cars. She said he looked at focus, like he wasn't wandering, like he was following something. Deputies checked the area. No boy, no tracks, no sign anyone had been walking there. Her description matches the missing kid exactly. At the same time, 9:41 p.m., a man in Hawthorne Bend, 31 miles in the opposite direction, called in a sighting of a boy walking past a closed lumber yard. His description: thin, dark hoodie, shoulder slightly hunched, never looked up, didn't react to the headlights. He said he walked past the security lights, but the lights didn't brighten, motion sensor never triggered. His description also matched the missing kid exactly. 2 towns, 2 witnesses, 2 identical descriptions, 1 exact timestamp, impossible. Only 1 sighting produced video. The Hawthorne Bend lumberyard had a camera facing the road. At 9:41 p.m., a figure walked past the gate. The boy never looked at the camera. He never changed his pace, never hesitated. But investigators noticed something off. His shadow stretched toward the security lights instead of away from them. Like the light source was behind him, but it wasn't. The Maple Hollow sighting had no footage, just a woman's statement written the same night. Both witnesses insisted that they saw the boy at 9:41 p.m. Both stood by their stories. Investigators tried to break the sightings apart. Maybe one witness misread time. Maybe the clock was off. Maybe one memory was wrong. Both calls hit dispatch within the same minute. Both callers were calm. Both gave consistent details. Neither knew about the other sighting. And the towns were too far apart for anyone, especially a child on foot, to be in both places. Both case files notes it plainly. The timeline cannot be reconciled. 2 months later, a truck driver reported seeing a boy standing near a Briar Ridge exit, the town where the kid originally disappeared. He said the boy wasn't walking this time. He was standing still, facing the highway, like he was waiting for something. When deputies arrived, the shoulder was empty, but the grass was pressed down like someone had been standing there for a long time. No footprints, no tracks, just the impression of presence. The boy was never found. No remains, no confirmed sightings, no explanations for dual appearance. The final line in the case file reads, "If he was seen twice, he was going somewhere neither town could explain." The investigators didn't close the file after that line. They added more notes, written almost like a warning instead of a conclusion. It said, cases like this don't stay cold because of lack of evidence. They stay cold because the evidence refuses to behave. Every detail in this file pointed somewhere, but none of those places existed on a map. None of them could be driven to. None of them could be searched. One of the deputies wrote that the sightings felt less like the boy was traveling and more like he was passing through. Not staying, not stopping, just appeared long enough to be noticed, and then slipping out of the timeline before anyone could reach him. Months later, a volunteer search group walked the stretch of the highway near Briar Ridge again. They didn't expect to find anything, and they didn't. But one of them mentioned something strange. The air felt different near the exit. Still, heavy, like the space itself remembered someone was standing there. They couldn't explain it, and it didn't go into the official report, but it stayed in the margins of the case notes. The final unofficial entry written by an investigator who retired the same year said this: "Some disappearances are about distance. This one was about direction. He wasn't lost, he was ahead of us." And that's where the file ends. No closure, no recovery. Just a boy who appeared twice in 2 towns at once, walked roads no one could trace, and left behind a timeline that still doesn't make sense. Thank you for listening to another episode of One Voice Mini Stories.